Telling our stories is the connective tissue of the collective human experience. The Just Keep Talking podcast delves into the lives and stories of artists. What is the impact of mental health on creativity? What does it mean to be a creative individual? Someone who feels deeply, experiences joy and pain intensely, and navigates the challenges of life through the creative process. With each story shared, we explore the authentic experience of our basic need to be seen, to be heard, and to belong. We're really not so different from one another, nor are we alone. Together, we can inspire, encourage, and enlighten each other to find the true joy and fulfillment that is within ourselves. When we just keep talking, we create the space for gratitude, self-acceptance, and grace in everyday life. In a world filled with divisiveness, fostering inclusivity and connection is a powerful way to make a positive impact. The Just Keep Talking podcast with me, Brother Love, because your story matters. Hello and welcome to the Just Keep Talking podcast with me, Brother Love, because your story matters. I am here today with Ford Cooper. Hello, sir.
How you doing?
Singer, songwriter, piano player, guitar player, multi-instrumentalist. Let me just read some things that are true. Ford Cooper, born and raised in Clarksville, Tennessee. You are an emerging 23-year-old musician whose soulful melodies and introspective lyrics resonate with audiences worldwide. Is that true?
We're getting there.
We're getting there. Yeah. So your influences are from the 90s grunge to smooth rhythms of neo-soul. Your musical journey is a testament to the transformative power of music. I'm still reading here. Ford's musical odyssey began at the age of 15 when he first picked up a guitar. Drawn to the raw energy and emotional depth of Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, it was authenticity of these bands that ignited his personal desire to become a musician. As his musical horizons expanded, Ford's journey took a pivotal turn when he discovered Jimi Hendrix. Oh, yes, sir. He was intrigued by Hendrix's virtuoso guitar playing and innovative approach to blend blues, rock, and R&B. Ford dove even deeper into the rich tapestry of musical genres, highlighting the soulful sounds of artists like Marvin Gaye, D'Angelo, and Erykah Badu. This allowed you, to craft your own unique sound, blending a fusion of smooth grooves, heartfelt lyrics, and infectious melodies. Ford, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you putting this together on your site. It's fantastic. Let's dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
How long have you lived in Nashville?
About 2.5 years, coming up on 3.
So what brought you here? What brought you to Nashville, Tennessee?
The music scene, yeah. I guess I really wanted to be a professional musician. I didn't know what that meant at the time, but Nashville's a cool town. It's super inspiring. I love the culture. So,
yeah. So you're not from very far from here. What was the scene like growing up? Was there music in your house growing up? What were you listening to as a kid? Your parents? What was it like?
I didn't really play a lot of music as a kid. I played a lot of sports. I picked up guitar around 15 or 16, and that was kind of when I started really studying and putting in a lot of hours and practice on it. My dad loves Van Halen, the Eagles, kind of old classic rock stuff. He's got great music taste, and my mom likes a lot of the grunge stuff. So we had an eclectic mix going on in the house. They've been super supportive and encouraging.
They are supportive and encouraging.
Oh, they're wonderful.
That's fantastic. My parents, I'm a little older than you are by about 30 years. You know, my father, to this day, my father's
you look
like...
great, bro.
Thank you. To this day, my father's like, I don't understand your business. I'm like, neither do I. Neither does anybody. I'm threatening him to go back to school.
Still figuring it out.
Yeah, he's like, you know, you could go back to school. I'm going to be like, you know what, Dad? I'm going to NYU.
Right.
How about that? How about that? What a good time we'll have. A little expensive, don't you think?
Yeah.
But you're an artist. You're a creative, and your parents support that, and that's fantastic. And I'm very happy to hear that for you.
Well, I've been blessed.
And so, do they play instruments at all? Either of your parents?
No, not a ton. My dad will strum a guitar every now and then. They got great ears. They love listening.
Isn't that the greatest gift?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think listening is the true form of the gift that is the greatest of all gifts?
Oh, yeah. That helps me see the pictures. I like taking it in and seeing it. You know?
Yeah.
And listening.
What do you mean, taking it in, seeing the pictures? Where you're listening to the pictures.
Yeah, I think that's the music. I mean, everyone you kind of listed, they all had like an atmosphere that I really enjoyed early on. I didn't play very well when I was listening to them, so it was brand new, you know? And now I can kind of play some of those songs, so some of the secrets have been unlocked. Yeah, I think that's the music I enjoy the most, is It's like all encompassing.
Yeah. I love that about the Beatles. Paul McCartney, to me, was able to paint a picture.
Yeah, the story.
He
Yeah.
really painted a story.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're in
There's
the story.
characters, there's dialogue, there's plot,
And then
climax.
John was the emotional writer that was like, hey, is it okay if I just tell you all how I'm feeling?
Right.
We were like, yes.
Yeah.
Now, Paul did the same thing in a different way.
Yeah.
I always find these things so fascinating. I'm a musician. I grew up playing drums, and I wrote songs, and I was singing harmonies in the band, and I always enjoyed composing music, but listening and hearing lyrics was hard for me.
Oh, I relate to that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I could feel the music.
Yeah.
I could just see myself in that picture. And I was afraid to say what are my emotions. Because in my mind, I was thinking, who cares? Right?
Word.
So what do you gravitate towards when you hear songs? Starting out, what was the thing? Was it the lyric? Was it the sound? I mean, it could have been all of the above. But something must have grabbed you. What grabbed you when you were younger that really just spoke to you?
Oh, man. I loved that music was something that I could study. There wasn't like a definitive winner and loser. It was kind of like up to myself and hearing myself get better. I love that. And one of the guys that was really inspired was Billy Joel, because hearing his songs, they sounded like a scene of a movie. And I'd never been to New York, but I was like, that's probably what New York sounds like.
You could taste New York City
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Billy Joel's. I'm from New York City, and he hit it on the head.
Yeah.
He really, truly, truly hit it on the head.
Yeah.
And I'm so appreciative for that. My wife is from New Jersey, so she's Springsteen, right? She's from
Okay.
Asbury Park.
Right.
And I'll tell you, people really, they put Billy Joel down over there. They say, hey,
They're not a
Bruce.
fan?
And I'm like, why
No.
can't we love both?
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And then you got New Yorkers who are like, yeah, Billy Joel. Oh, we don't need Springsteen. And by the end of the day, they're all at the same concert, loving
Right.
Billy Joel
Right,
or loving
right.
Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
So when did you decide that you were going to try this? To like, okay, so I like hearing this, whether it was the 90s grunge stuff or the more smooth R&B stuff, but that something must have clicked where you're like, well, let me give this a shot.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? When did that happen?
I didn't learn a lot of songs when I first started playing. I was more interested in the theory and the study of the instruments. When I was learning guitar, I was way more interested in chords, the inversions of them, because I wanted to understand what I was playing. I didn't want to just play it. And my thought was, well, if I know a bunch of chords, I can probably play a lot of songs. Then I started kind of picking apart the guitar parts to the songs I really liked, and that kind of helped me understand music a little more, not just from a textbook point of view, you know.
So you learned how to play chords. You know how to read music.
I can read a chord chart,
Right.
not classical sheet music, but
Right.
learning the number system and like the theory, I think really progressed my playing.
Wow. The number system,
It's gorgeous. I love that.
explain what the number system is. You're a player to our audience who doesn't understand.
Well, I hope I explained this well.
You're going to explain it better than me, I promise.
In music, every song has a key. Every key has notes. How many notes is it? 12 notes? Is there more than that?
Last I heard, 12 notes.
So then you can like put numbers on them so it's easy to transcribe the song to a different key.
Yeah.
So if you're playing with different singers, it makes it a little more accessible. Is that good? Is that good? Okay.
That's great. No, because when I moved here and people would give charts and people from
It took
New
me a
York,
minute. Yeah, I had to really study it.
yeah,
Yeah,
we were like, what the heck is this?
yeah, I didn't know.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
you still have people now who are sending real notated charts down from, let's say, New York or LA or wherever, or Oklahoma, and it's actually the whole song written out. So the number system is a wonderful way so that, like you said, you can get on stage, and if I'm the singer and you're used to playing this song in A, but I need this in G,
yeah.
no problem. I can
Drop it
follow.
down.
Drop it down. Yeah. I think that's fantastic because as a kid, I studied drums. I ran home after school and crammed everything in really, really fast and kind of learned it. And I didn't really study it as well or as much as you did, which I think is really amazing because a lot of people get into things for different reasons. But you wanted to know what makes music work.
Yeah, 100%.
That's sort of your MO, right? I think you seem like somebody who digs in a little bit deeper to figure things out.
Yeah, I think I have a natural curiosity. I like asking questions, you know?
Yeah. So when asking these questions, did you ask yourself questions in order to write songs, or how did you start to write lyrics? How did that come about?
I think lyrics just kind of came. I wanted to write songs, and I figured there needs to be lyrics and a singer. So, I mean, for real, it kind of got me going that way. And as I started writing lyrics, I kind of grew an appreciation for that craft of music. That's a whole thing, you know? And that's kind of separate from being an instrumentalist player, you know, being a writer. I think they're as equally challenging, but they have a different set of challenges.
Right.
So yeah, I think it was just kind of by default, you know. I didn't like set out to be a right, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you moved to Nashville. Had you recorded any music ever before?
No. I
Never.
mean, like on a phone, but nothing in like a studio setting.
I mean, folks, we're sitting here. This cat has a team. There's a manager. There's a publicist. There's a whole thing going on. There's a producer. Rob Levine has produced your new stuff. You have a new...
Wonderful guy.
A wonderful guy. A new song that you've performed. It's called All I Ever Say. And I was digging into this. Part of the reason that we're here today is because you've been diagnosed with ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder. Let's talk about that just a little bit. What is that like for you? What is ASD to you?
What's it like? Well, it didn't mean much at all because it's just what was just normal to me, you know? And I didn't even really have an awareness of it until probably out of college. It wasn't something I had an awareness of when I was a little kid growing up. It was just, you know, I didn't think about it. It was just normal to me.
So there was no distinction here that there is something different or something wrong, quote unquote, or something.
Well, no, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
You said that you grew up, you didn't think about it as in you lived your life.
Right.
So somebody told you or something happened that triggered a moment where there's like, hey, we need to talk about this. There's something a little askew here, something maybe different from the next kid, something that we need to investigate and look at, which gives somebody pause because then you have to say, well, is there something wrong with me? What was that like? I mean, when was this in your evolution of life?
When I first started kind of having awareness of it and I heard those words, you know, different or quirky, it really angered me. It kind of frustrated me because it was like, well, what's wrong with what I think, you know? I wouldn't say that to somebody. Everybody's just living their life, you know? But now it don't. It's just who I am, you know?
But what were those things? What was said to you, if you don't mind me asking?
I can't recall exactly everything. But yeah, I think it was just kind of when I was getting out of school, I finally had some time to kind of think. I had a pretty intense athletic schedule in high school, and you know, I played college athletics, so every day was pretty scheduled and structured, and it was usually on to the next thing. But then when I kind of stopped playing that, I had some time for some introspective thought and reflect and kind of understand why do I feel what I feel, and it led me to some like finding some answers, you know, from myself, just from my own clarity.
So let's just back up here a little bit. Autism Spectrum Disorder is a complex developmental condition involving persistent challenges with social communication, restricted interests, and repetitive behavior. Common signs of autism in adults include, and I don't know if this pertains to you at all, but finding it hard to understand what others are thinking or feeling, getting very anxious about social situations, finding it hard to make friends or preferring to be on your own, seeming blunt, rude, or not interested in others without meaning to, and finding it hard to say how you feel. Again, I Googled this, and so I'm sure there's so much more. I know there's much more. But when I read this, a lot of these are me. A lot of these are me. I absolutely. I can't understand what anybody's thinking or feeling.
Right.
Really, I'm anxious all the time. I'm very blunt. I have trouble sort of wading the waters sometimes because I'm similar. When I was reading your story, I saw a lot of myself.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because we're not all so different. You know, you're a kid, you're living your life. You know,
I was figuring it out.
But a lot of people don't decide I need to figure something out. What age
like
were
about
you?
themselves?
Yeah. That's a deep dive, man, into your own human beingness.
Yeah.
What age did you start to just sort of scratch the surface? How old were you when you were like asking these questions?
Oh, I'd probably say 20, a couple of years ago.
Wow. Yeah. How do you feel about it? Do you feel freer? Do you feel like you know yourself a little better?
100%. Yeah, I think I know what my daily needs are. And I don't mind being stern on them because I know if I don't meet those, then might suffer some negative emotions, you know, and I'll try to avoid those.
Can you give me an example of what those daily needs are?
Well, I like to get exercise in. That really helps my mental clarity a lot. Some sort of creative outlet, and probably maintaining my relationships with people that I really care and love, you know.
Staying connected.
Yeah.
Staying tethered.
Yeah. And I'm certainly not an underdog or anything with this stuff. It's just who I am, you know?
There's a lot of people that feel underdog. One of my questions were like, how do you feel? Do you feel marginalized in any way?
No.
Because a lot of people do. A lot of people are told
Yeah.
there's something wrong with you.
I relate. I feel that, but I don't personally feel that. I just got what I got.
Well, that's a wonderful way of putting it, you know, because I remember being a kid in school and we were all reading, right? When you're done reading, look up. And I just kept kind of peeking up and everybody kept looking up and I wasn't anywhere near done reading.
Oh.
And to this day, I do not know if the teacher said this or I said it, but I came out of that moment and I was in elementary school as Larry is a slow reader.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if the teacher said that or if I said that. And that lived with me to this day. That lives with me.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're not crucifying yourself over being quirky, like you said earlier, or just having a different need, it's a need. You know, we put the word special needs out there. Like you have needs that are special because you are you. You are special to your own self. You have to care for yourself.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have boundaries, I would say, do you have boundaries that, okay, you're in a situation and you just mentioned a little while ago about emotions that come up and you don't want to maybe deal with them. Do you have a sort of like a wall that just comes right up if something happens? It's a loaded question.
Well, I do, but that's something I've had to work on because I've done that to people who are trying to help me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You put that wall up and then like I thought that would help me, but it didn't. It just backed me into a corner and these are people that, you know, and I'm not saying nothing. I have boundaries. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can finish your thought. Yeah, it backed you in the corner.
That was on me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
That's my point,
Right.
is that you're able to say that was on me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you get backed in the corner, you spend more time saying it's them.
Yeah.
Them.
I don't do that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you're able to take responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So let's get into your lyrics here. The song All I Ever Say. It's a fantastic song.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You wrote it yourself and produced by Rob Levine.
Yep.
It's an EP that came out May of 2024. You had songs called What You Zooin',
That's the one.
right, with Ellie Allen. That's a cool song.
Shout out Ellie.
And then a song called Wishes. So I love the song All I Ever Say. It's a smooth soul song. I mean, you are as vulnerable as a songwriter could be. And thank you for that.
Oh, man.
So let's read, okay? The lyric is, yeah, I could say what's on my brain, but my friends will think I'm insane. So I'll be quiet. It's all the same. Ain't it strange? Ain't it strange?
Yeah.
That's happened to all of us, my friend, right? And you're putting it into song for those of us to say, wow, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And you go on to say, I could talk through my mouth, let the words pour out. But every time I try to say what I think, I get told that it's not the time or place. So I just sit there and I overthink. Do you spend a lot of time up in the head office?
Like in my,
Yeah, the head office gets full and we stay up there for a long time.
It can get a little chaotic and cluttered, but I think I've gotten a lot better since that. But yeah, sure. I definitely still feel that.
When
know?
you say better,
Yeah.
is there better? Is there worse? I just think it's all just being a human being. You're expressing yourself. Where did this song come from? You're expressing something that these are feelings. You have feelings and thoughts that you want to get out, but you've tended to in the past keep them in. What we want is to be seen and to be heard. And this sounds like that. So how did this song come about?
Well, the song came about fairly quickly. I just sat down and I had a musical motif that I really enjoyed and had a groove to it. The lyrics just kind of came out. There was no, like, I wasn't trying to have a message or anything with the song. It was purely just me kind of venting, you know?
Yeah.
It was kind of for myself in a way, you know? I was just trying to write down my thoughts and what I was going through that day, but it kind of turned out relatable.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the intention. And I think that's why it came out that way, you know?
You weren't intending to
No, not at all.
teach us anything.
Not at all.
But
No.
Did that open your eyes and your heart to something that's very precious? As an artist,
Oh, good question.
I think we try so hard. We're performing, we're pleasing, we're approving, we're put it out there, right? Put the nice shirt on, get the hair nice, make sure you look good as much as sound good. And a lot of times we have gimmicks. The list goes on and on. But the bottom line is you were not trying to teach me something. And what you did was, by being authentic, you showed me something.
Oh man, thank you. That's really kind.
Yeah, well, thank you. You were honest. It goes on. Your lyric, the third stanza. Who cares what I got to say? Who would listen anyways? I'm going to find high. I'm going to numb the pain. I'm going to get high, numb the pain. I'm paraphrasing your own song here, right? Use and abuse it every day. Ain't it strange? Ain't it strange? Do you numb the pain?
No, I don't drink. No.
I quit drinking about 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years for me in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I numbed my pain, a lifetime of numbing.
Wow.
Drug use and alcohol abuse. And I was curious, do you numb the pain? But you don't have to numb the pain with alcohol or drugs. Do you numb your pain with anything that you might want to share with us right now? I mean, sometimes it's food, sometimes it's sex, sometimes it's just staying alone, being angry. I don't know.
No, nothing like that. No hard narcotics or anything like that. No.
But I mean, how would you say that you numb your pain? We all have a way of numbing pain.
Well, probably through, the creative outlet of music.
Yeah.
And as mentioned, exercising helps.
You're not kidding, man.
Yeah, that really helps.
One of my questions was, do you take care of yourself? And I can see that you do. When you drove past me coming in here, I saw a very, very good-looking cat. His hair flowing out of the car, and I was like, wow, I get to interview.
Brother love, baby.
I get to interview this Adonis.
This is Adonis.
This is cool. You look and feel like you take care of yourself, and you've mentioned it a few times, and you say it so easily, and I'm hearing it easily because I'm the same way. If I don't work out, take care of my body, whatever that means. If I don't move my body, I get real stuck, man.
Man, I'm with you on that.
And I get real depressed.
Yeah.
And I get real, real dark. And then I'm abusing myself, and I'm abusing my loved ones around me. And my wife is like, what is wrong with you? Why are you such a maniac? And I realize because I haven't gotten out of my head.
Yeah, it goes deep.
It goes deep.
Yeah.
Do you have a regimen in your life that you keep to daily? And we touched upon this earlier. Do you have a set schedule of every day that you try to adhere to when it comes to a routine to keep you sane and happy and healthy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes I gotta adjust it. But yeah, I write out my days and I like to keep it structured. Helps me just keep moving, keep feeling purposeful and productive and happy. I enjoy the things I do. It's not a chore.
That's
You know
beautiful.
what I mean?
Good for you. I enjoy the things I do.
Yeah, it keeps me happy. You know what I mean?
Would you say you're a happy person?
Yeah, I think so.
That's great. A lot of people, that's a hard question.
Yeah, yeah.
So you take care of yourself. I really appreciate that about you. Do you have your people here in Nashville? You have a community here? Like you're here, what, how many years now?
2.5.
How do you feel about having your people around you? Do you have a community of people that you trust, that you really, really, really call family, friends?
Yeah, I got my team of people that help. They're amazing. Just being in Nashville, there's so many people I've ran into. I think the community and culture of Nashville is really supportive. It's been to me, at least.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's inspiring. There's so much worldwide talent, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's great. So as far as messaging goes, what would your message be? Like, I'm Ford Cooper, I'm a musician, and my message through my music would be, what would that be?
I don't think I have a message. I think what I try and do is just come off really authentic and being really original with the sounds and just purposeful with what I'm writing and performing. Like I kind of said with all I ever said, I don't really try and save the world or write a message. I just write how I'm feeling and hope it sticks,
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you write a lot? Are you writing a lot of music?
Yeah, every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Nice. So what's coming up for you? This EP was last year, and so we're raising some awareness with All Ever Say. I mean, I do appreciate, what you're saying is, this is something that's happening with me, and I'm all right, and I have people around me that I trust, and you trust in yourself clearly, and you sound wonderful.
Thank you.
Which is great. So as far as the autism, as far as community, as far as raising awareness, do you have any messaging? Because there's people out there that really feel alone, that haven't been struck with the strength that you have, which is taking care of yourself. You're being very mindful of yourself. And that's an important thing. So do you have a message at all? You don't have to be a wise sage or anything. You said it before, but...
Well, the thing I'm proud of with a song specifically, like All I Ever Say, is it kind of disintegrates any ignorance about the subject matter. Because I've had encounters with people like that where I thought they were one way, but then I learned that they might have a condition or something. And then I go like, oh, and I learn a lot it increases my empathy and sympathy for that person because I understand them now,
Right.
you know? So I think that's something I'm proud of with that song. That was like a byproduct after the song was done.
Right.
It wasn't at all intentional.
Right. That's clear, by the way.
But I think that if there is a message, that might be one. Just, hey, you never know what they're going through.
You never know what anybody's going through. That's so insightful. I think that's fantastic. So you got some shows coming up? What's happening? Talk to me.
We
Talk
got
to us.
one July 5th.
July
at
5th,
The
OG Basement.
OG Basement.
You're headlining, correct?
Yeah.
I believe you are.
Yeah.
I've read correctly. Yeah. Are you excited?
Very. I love it. Love it.
What does your band consist of?
I'm on keyboards and singing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a background vocalist, an organist, a bass player, a drummer, and a guitarist. And that's kind of the blueprint for the sound, you know.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love every minute of it. There's a quote from Martha Graham, who is an American modern dancer and choreographer. And she said this to Agnes DeMille, who also was a dancer. Quote, "There is a vitality, a life force, that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium, and it will be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable, nor how it compares with other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours clearly and directly, to keep the channel open." Now, when I was looking you up and looking you down, this quote came to me because you seem like you have a strength in you, you have a vitality, you have a life force, and there's only one of you. And I know you're finding your way just like we all are. But I want to say, from one artist to another, thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because it's not an easy thing to do. You're a few hours from where you grew up. You have a life in Nashville, Tennessee. You're writing songs. You're doing all the things that need to happen. And you're sharing your story with all of us. And I really appreciate it very, very much.
Hey, man, yeah.
Yeah. I got a few questions for you now. These are my rapid fire at the end questions. You feeling okay?
I'm feeling great.
Great. Okay. What fascinates you? Like these days, like what's fascinating to you?
In relation to music?
In relation to anything. Like what's fascinating to you?
Oh, man.
Take your time.
Happiness.
Happiness is fascinating. Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. Life, we need it, you know? So it's a good thing to study.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, let's take it to opposite. What angers you? What pisses you off?
Myself.
Oh, gosh. Why is that?
Well, I say that jokingly.
Well, hey, me too, by the way.
I get flustered with myself. I don't know. I try not to let... I'm really blessed, man.
Yeah.
I count my blessings more than the things that maybe I wish I had or
Yeah.
things. You know, I try and practice gratitude.
That's great. Well, practicing gratitude and being gratitude are two different things,
being
right?
gratuitous, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now that you're smiling, what brings you joy?
Oh.
Like pure joy. Like,
yeah,
wow.
Just waking up.
Wow.
Waking up, man. My family, music, my health. I'm blessed.
If you had a magic wand and you could fix anything in the world, Ford Cooper, you go, bop, it's fixed, it's done, you're welcome. What would that be?
I'm going to think on that one.
Yeah, take your time.
I don't know. I think everybody just has such individualized problems. I guess, I would hope to take away everyone's problems with my magic wand. I would just spread more love.
Yeah, well, here's to that. Thank you so much. Ford Cooper, how do we find you?
On Instagram, it's Ford Cooper Music. Spotify and all platforms where there's music is Ford Cooper. Ford Cooper Official is my website, and that's a good place to find me.
Well, find Ford Cooper. You will be happy that you did because he brings joy and authenticity to his music and into your ears and into your heart. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Ford Cooper on the Just Keep Talking podcast with me, Brother Love, because your story matters. You know, we need to be seen, to be heard, and to feel like we really belong. Thank you for taking me in and making me feel seen and heard. And like I belong here with you right now. I really appreciate it. None of this is easy. And it's just wonderful to be able to share our stories because there are people sitting around thinking, you know, I want to do what Ford does. How do I do that? And I know somebody's listening. They're going to have a few answers. Ford's magic wand is going to make all your joy come into your life, right?
Yeah. Hey, I don't know about that.
We'll do our best. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to the Just Keep Talking podcast. My name is Brother Love. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Please like, share, and subscribe. Our YouTube page is at Just Keep Talking Podcast. Instagram is at The Just Keep Talking Podcast. We have such a wonderful community here in Nashville. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, we are not alone out there. So don't forget to use your turn signal.